everybody, and welcome to another TMI Moment. This is Terra. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all go ahead and do me a favor, like and share the video. Let someone know that you're watching, that we're live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And so I'm on my personal page on Facebook, on my business page, and I'm on my business page on Instagram. And of course, we're on Tira's Motivational Inspiration channel on YouTube. And so, if you have not done so already, go ahead and click the link in the description box for me, if you will. So we're trying to reach 100 subscribers. So be one of the first 100. That's our first goal. That is not our end goal. And when you're on there, click the little bell so you're notified when we go live. We are doing a lot of restructuring within TMI. And so I want to make sure that each of you are able to get these videos whenever you want to see the videos, and because we are not going to continue to keep them on our personal page or on Facebook, but I wanted to make sure those of you who are connected with me, I wanted to make sure that you are able to stay connected with me. And anytime you want to go back and look at the videos, you can just go through and look at the videos, and it's all there for you, and set up and all that good kind of stuff. So we've been talking about being our authentic selves, right? And so I am excited about this series that we've been talking about, and it stemmed from me going back to read my book, Finding Your Voice Inside of the Noise. I wrote this book March of 2020, and it has been absolutely amazing for me, and the testimonials that I've received from those who have used the book has been amazing. It has been mind boggling, mind blowing, all those good kind of things, because it's so amazing that when you begin to be who you really are and not afraid to share what is on the inside of you, how it blesses other people, it is so amazing. And so I want to help each one of you become the best version of who you are. And so today I'm going to be sharing 2 tips of how to knock down your barriers so that you can become the best person who you are. So that, if all of us can be the best version of ourselves, then we can make this world a much better place. And so there's no competition among me with anyone else. I want to see us all win. The only person I'm competing with is the person who I was yesterday, the person who I was an hour ago. If the person that you knew, if you knew me from my past, you don't really know who I really am now, because I've changed, and it's constant. It's not a one and done type thing. It's a process, and so I'm going through the journey. So I want to take you along the journey with me. Now, I want you to remember that the information that I provide to you should not replace any medical or professional advice that you would get from a licensed counselor or therapist. Make sure if you need assistance in those areas that you reach out and get some assistance, because it is important for you to be the best version of who you are. The information that I share should be used at your own discretion. These are things that I've read over time, I've studied, I've researched, I've applied to my own life, and it's beneficial to me, so I want to share it with you. I'm the type of person that if something is good to me, I like to share. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing it with you as well. So these are the 2 tips to knock down your barriers. We all face barriers in our life, and sometimes we wish that there was some type of magic pill, magic wand that we could just take that would instantly make them disappear. But we all know that's not the case, right? We have to do the work. And so in order for us to do the work, there are 2 things that I found that are very, very helpful. So tip number 1 is be self-aware. Y'all always hear me talk about self-evaluation. I am a believer in evaluating yourself and holding yourself accountable. Being self-aware simply means that you can observe yourself from a non-judgmental perspective. That is very important that you hear. Non-judgmental perspective. When you are self-aware, you catch yourself in the present moment experiencing a specific emotion, a specific state, a reaction, or feeling. The more that you are aware of your emotions, the more you can start to understand yourself. For an example, you might observe that you tend to be reactive when someone provides you a suggestion when you haven't asked for it about how to do something different. That reaction might be positive, it might be negative, it just all depends. And sometimes it might depend on the person. Or you may catch yourself that you nervously laugh when stuff ain't funny. So those are different things that you might would notice about yourself if you are self-aware. And when you are aware of your emotions, you can better have an idea of who you are and how you tend to react in certain situations. And so it's also important that we do self evaluations and that we're self aware, because it's the one of the best ways that we can do. We One of the best ways for us to improve upon things that we are not so happy about ourselves, or certain aspects that we don't find to be the most positive, or it may not be optimal for us to really be the best version of who we are. And so, not only does self awareness help us to remove barriers in our lives, but it also will help us experience a greater ability to recognize our emotions. It is so important for us to be able to recognize the emotions that we have and why we are having it. I found out many times I was thinking that I was angry, I was really hurt about certain things. And it wasn't until I became self aware that I understood I'm not really mad about this. You really just hurt my feelings. And my anger is just a defense mechanism that I'm using to as a tool to protect myself, so I think, but I'm really hurting myself because I'm not dealing with the root cause of what's going on. It can also improve our critical thinking. It can improve our relationships. I remember when I first got married, I thought I was very self-aware. I thought I knew what I wanted, how I wanted it, and everything. But I learned that there were certain things that I had adapted to because of the people around me. It was certain things that I accepted because I thought that was what I was supposed to do. And so when you're in a long-term committed relationship where you're no longer he going to his house, I'm going to my house, and we come together and we're able to come together, we are the best versions of ourselves because we only have to play that role for a little bit of time. But now I'm in the house with you all the time, and this is something that is going to be for the rest of my life. I began to realize I need to know what I like, and I need to be able to communicate that in a better way, because now I'm trying to learn what someone else likes, and I may not necessarily like what that someone else likes the way that they like it or whatever. So I need to become self-aware so that I can work on our relationship so that I don't begin to resent them because I feel like my needs are not being met, when it really is that I haven't been able to properly communicate my needs to them because I didn't know my needs myself. A lot of times we have some unexpressed expectations and we get mad at other people because our expectations are not met, but that's because we are not self-aware enough to know that we even expect that from somebody else. We just know when we don't receive what we want or what we think we're supposed to receive, right? Yeah. So then if you're self-aware, you're able to live in the present moment. You're able to experience the joys in that moment. I know I was the world's worst. I was always looking for the next thing. So a lot of people will always tell me, you are so like it is so hard to surprise you. And people would do nice things for me and I would be grateful, but I would like I didn't know how to live in the moment. And that was just simply because I had learned how to turn off my emotions because of things from my past that I didn't deal with. And so, even when I wanted to be happy, even when I wanted to be present in the moment, until I really stepped back and I began to really learn who I was, I could not be that. And then I began to be able to experience more joy and happiness in my life. So, self awareness is key to live a life without barriers. When we know who we are, then there's nothing that really can stop us. Then our tip number 2 is to build our self-esteem. I always say that your self-esteem, it all stems from knowing your self-image. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe that God made us in his image after his likeness. And so I believe this, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And in order for me to really grasp that, I have to have a clear self image, and I get that image. I get my image from what I have read in the Bible. Now, A lot of people get their self image from a lot of other different places. You get your self image from the magazine, you get your self image from TV, you get your self image from the girls in high school, the popular girls in high school, and all that good kind of stuff. And sometimes, because we have the wrong self image, it causes our self esteem to be lower than what it's supposed to be. And so, self esteem is just the way that we perceive ourselves or evaluate our worth. And it's the ultimate belief that we place on ourselves. And so, people with high self esteem, they tend to not see problems as barriers, but an opportunity for them to grow. So if your self-esteem is at the level that it's supposed to be, it is no longer a barrier for you. It is just basically a stepping stone. Instead of it being a stumbling block, it's a stepping stone. Also, those people who have low self-esteem, a lot of times they tend to stop themselves from doing particular activities because they feel that they're not capable of doing it. So you can increase your self-esteem simply by appreciating yourself, by knowing, like the same way that you would appreciate someone else. Do you take the time to say, "Oh girl, you did a great job. Oh guy, you did a great job"? Do you talk to yourself like that? Do you let yourself know when you do a great job? Or are you critical of yourself? The way that you can increase your self-esteem is to begin to intentionally make an intentional effort to appreciate yourself. Have the goal of becoming your own best friend. Like, I know if nobody else is down for Terra, if nobody else is down for Quan, I'm down for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got me. You know what I'm saying? There cannot be a better best friend to me than I am to myself. Actually, I can't appreciate having any other best friends if I'm not my best friend first. We'll talk about more of that probably tomorrow. But listen, you need to take some time to hang out with yourself once in a while. It will help you build a level of confidence and comfort in just being by yourself. Add some self-care in those moments as well, and that's going to help increase your self-respect. Taking care of you is important. I know I am able to take care of everyone else. I'm a giver, and I think I've shared this before. And I will give and give and give and give and give, and I used to give and give and give and give to other people. People would ask me, "What would you want? What do you want?" And I would never know. But for everybody's birthdays, for every holiday or whatever, anytime I had an opportunity to give to somebody else, I could always think of what to give to someone else, but I never could think about what to give to me. I had to realize that that was a part of a self-esteem issue. That was a part of an issue that I was dealing with in myself, that felt like, okay, I'll be okay if I don't get anything. I'll and it really came from me not thinking that, okay, well, I didn't value myself enough to really put myself on that level to receive something. Like, that may sound crazy to some people, but I literally had issues with self-esteem. I dealt with that all my life, thinking I wasn't pretty enough, thinking I was too big, thinking I was too small, thinking I was, not good enough to do certain things. And that was a constant barrier for me. But when I began to know who I was in Christ, when I began to get my self image right and my self esteem began to grow to the level where it needs to be, then I was able to really move forward and do some things that I never thought I would do. One of which is have my own business where people actually come to me for me to help them do certain things. There are some people who want me to come and help them to learn how to do some things. There are some people who just want to hire me to do some things that I'm great at. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm really doing this. But that's because I learned to have the proper self-esteem about myself. And then having compassion towards ourselves and having self-love will often lead us to have better self-esteem and higher confidence. We know how to be compassionate towards others, but am I just as compassionate to myself as I am with other people? Like when I have some coaching clients now that when they bring certain situations to me, I'm like, don't be so hard on yourself. This is what you need to look at. This is how you need to value yourself. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to stop doing. And I had to make sure that, okay, while I'm telling them all this, I can't tell you to do something that I haven't done myself. So I want to be authentic. I want to be true. So anything I share with anybody else, trust and believe that's something that I had to go through, something that I had to walk through too, something that I had to learn. And as I said, a lot of times this thing is not a one and done. This is a process that we have to go by. So when we learn this, no barriers can stand in our way. When we learn how to be self-aware, to self-evaluate ourselves, and to know who we are, when we learn how to know our proper self-image, when we have a picture of our proper self-image, we're able to have the self-esteem that we should have about ourselves. Then there's nothing that will be able to stop us. Those are two tips. Just start working on that. Being self-evaluate your own self. Start to be aware. The next time you feel any type of emotion, happiness, sadness, hurt, anger, whatever it is, go ahead and start to think about, okay, what's going on? Why am I feeling this way? Ask yourself those questions. You don't you can ask yourself those questions and begin to answer those questions, and you'll begin to see, okay, this is why that triggered me. Well, should this have triggered me like it did? And if it shouldn't have, then okay, what could I have done differently to get a different result? Okay, so listen, like I said, if you're going through a situation in your life that requires you to that you are struggling mentally, or you have some emotional trauma that you have gone through, please seek a licensed professional therapist or counselor to help you through your situation. Don't try to do it on your own. Make sure that you are taking the proper steps that you need to take to become the best you, so that you can be true to who you are and be true to who God has created you to be. Y'all listen, this has been your TMI moment. Don't forget to like and share this video. Don't forget to click the link in the description box so that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the bell so that you can be notified when we go live. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Make a conscious, calculated decision to rejoice and be glad in it.